Hello and welcome to Gardening at 58 North, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to unwrap your potted Christmas tree. So first of all, what you want to do is think about the location you're going to unwrap this. There might be some dirt that's going to fall out of here, some dead leaves, some needles, things like that. So what you want to do is make sure you do this either outside or somewhere where you can easily sweep up afterwards, like hard flooring or laminate. So the second thing you want to do is take off the label. So we're going to unhook the netting up here. You just have to be careful because sometimes it does wrap around the stem and it can cause a bit of damage, so make sure you carefully unwrap that. Then you want to take off the label. You can either cut it or pull it off depending on how your label is attached. Now we're ready to take the Christmas tree out of the netting. So first of all, a lot of the potted Christmas trees, what they do is they come in an outer pot, which is decorative, and then they have netting underneath. So what you want to do is you want to lift up your Christmas tree out of its decorative pot so you can fully see the netting and the bag that is actually grown inside. Next, you want to get your scissors and you want to cut the very bottom of the netting. So you should find that it's got a knot like this one here. You just get your scissors and you just want to cut above the knot like this. And then what will happen is this will get nice and loose. And then we can flip our tree back up the right way and we can pull off the netting quite easily. So it's important when taking the netting off to pull upwards because the way the branches are situated. If you pull it up, you won't cause any damage. If you pull it down or you use the scissors along the edge, you're probably going to cause some damage to the tree. So just get the netting. It can be a little bit tight, so what you might want to do is just kind of fluff it up a bit, try and loosen it slightly. And you just want to pull up. And it's a bit difficult at first, but you'll see it does pull up quite easily. And then all the branches are going to start coming out of your tree and it's going to start unfurling for you. So now that we've got it out the net, we can put it back into its decorative pot. You can see what it's in. There is a bag and there is a pot where it's been grown in the field as well. Ideally, what I like to do is keep it in the bag. I just find it an extra kind of protective measure. You can take it out of the bag if you want. So we put it back into its original pot. And now it's time to pull the branches down. So because it's been wrapped up for so long, these branches are going to be stuck in that position for a while. And it's going to take a long time to naturally come down. So what you want to do, starting at the bottom, is you want to pull down the branches and you want to bend them a bit further down than you would normally want them. And you want to hold them there for a few seconds as well. And then you just want to go around the entire tree, pulling down the branches until they start to naturally relax and come back into their natural position. Then what you want to do is come back in about 5 minutes time and then have a look at the branches again because they'll often come back up again. So you need to go around and pull them back down and get them into that position that you want. Don't worry too much if they are a little bit higher than what you want because once you start hanging your decorations on them, the weight of your decorations will pull them down a little bit anyway. So you don't need to force them too hard to get them really low down. So now that you've got the branches pulled down, some of them are also pulled to the side. You can just kind of tweak them as I say. Bend them past the point that you think they need to be. They are very flexible, you know, you can really bend and flex these around. They're not going to snap, especially with the first species. You know, you can be really flexible and very difficult to break. So don't be too worried about bending them around. They are quite tough plants and they'll be absolutely fine with it. So now that the tree is out, it's time to have a good look at the tree and look if there's any dead material, any kind of dead grass or anything in there. Quite often these are grown in a field and you'll get some dead grass or some weeds that are growing in and amongst the bottom of the tree. So just have a good look, pull anything out. You also might find some dead needles. So now's a good time to give it a good shake. Shake any loose needles off here so that it's outside or it's in an easy to clean area so that you don't have to worry about them in your carpet later on. A good shake should hopefully loosen any of that out. If you have a leaf blower would do a great job as well. So as I say, just look around, make sure there's no dead in it, take any dead out and take any old grass or weeds out as well. So the last thing you need to do is either remove the bag if you don't like the sight of the bag, or you just fold the bag down so it's out of sight and then you can just put your own tree cover around the base there so it looks nice. One of the reasons I like to keep the bag is because there's a lot of dirt and mud at the surface here. So if you put your tree cover on top of the pot, you're going to get it wet. Because you need to keep the plant nice and damp at all times, if you put your tree cover around it without the plastic bag, it's going to get wet, it's going to get horrible and dirty and muddy. So that's another reason why I like to keep this tree cover on there as a bit of protection against any kind of tree cover that you put on there. Keep it nice and clean. So that's how to unwrap your Christmas tree. If you're interested in some other videos, I have some videos about how to buy a Christmas tree, what to look out for when buying a Christmas tree, or what to do when you want to plant it in your garden.